Imagine a town where everything is slightly broken. The buses are late, the rent is up, the hospital has 3 forms for the same form, and nobody can explain why. Then one person climbs onto a box. He points at the mess, and he offers a beautiful little story. One villain, one cause, one fix. The crowd exhales. Finally, a sentence with a handle. The strange part is not that the story might be wrong. The strange part is how good it feels before anyone checks. So why can a simple story outrun a complicated truth? Start with a much smaller trick. When a sentence is easy to read, easy to hear, or easy to remember, it can feel more believable. Psychologists call this processing fluency. Your brain finishes the sentence without tripping. Then it can quietly mistake smoothness for evidence. This is not stupidity. It is a useful shortcut. Most of the day, familiarity is useful. The route you know is easier to follow. The animal-shaped shadow beside your bed is probably still a sock, but the shortcut can be borrowed. Repeat a claim, and it becomes easier to process. Make it rhyme, and it becomes easier to carry. Put it on a clean sign, and the sign starts doing some of the thinking. Researchers have found that repetition can raise perceived truth, even when people already know enough to reject the claim. The fact did not improve. The path to the fact just got smoother. Fluency opens the door, but a story gives the claim furniture. A useful simple story has 4 parts: a problem, a cause, a character to blame or praise, and a button labeled solve. Drop a messy event into the top, and the machine produces a straight line. Prices rose because of them. The project failed because of him. Your life is stuck because of one hidden rule. Sometimes that line is correct. One broken cable really can shut down a building. One corrupt official really can steal the money. One bad rule really can create a stupid result. Simple explanations are not automatically lies. Without simplification, we could not think at all. The problem is that reality often looks less like one cable, and more like a drawer full of headphones. Several causes pull at once. Some causes are invisible. Some effects arrive late, and the same action can help one person while hurting another. The tiny machine does not enjoy this. It has only 4 slots. There is another reason simple stories win. They are cheap to share. Try shouting this during an emergency. There may be a small probability of localized combustion, depending on several interacting variables. Now try. Fire. The short version wins, as it should. Groups need compressed instructions. Families need rules. Movements need slogans. Institutions need categories. A complicated truth can describe the map. A simple story can make everyone walk in the same direction. That is real power, and sometimes it solves the problem. But coordination has a hidden price. To keep the crowd moving, the story must push awkward facts off the road. The exception becomes a distraction. The uncertainty becomes weakness. The person asking for evidence becomes the person delaying the march. The story began as a flashlight. Now it is also a fence. Then the story finds something even stickier than memory. That thing is identity. Imagine 2 crowds looking at the same red knot. One crowd says it was tied by the people on the left. The other says it was tied by the people on the right. Soon the knot is almost irrelevant. The explanation tells each crowd who they are, who noticed first, who cares, who belongs, and who cannot be trusted. Now changing your mind is no longer a small repair. It feels like changing uniforms in the middle of a match. Smart people are not immune to this. A smart brain can inspect evidence. It can also build a very elegant fence around its favorite conclusion. This does not mean every disagreement is tribal. People can examine evidence and change their minds. Corrections usually help more than the internet likes to admit. But when a claim carries identity, facts are no longer entering an empty room. They are entering a room full of teammates. Suppose the simple story says, one group broke everything. The correction arrives carrying 7 folders. Well, part of the damage started earlier. The numbers differ by region. 2 policies had opposite effects, and we are still uncertain about the final cause. That may be honest. It is also terrible merchandise. The simple claim fits on a flag. The correction needs a table, a footnote, and someone willing to remain awake. And sometimes, the correction repeats the original claim while trying to remove it. So the clean version gets one more trip through memory. This is why the goal is not to make truth complicated on purpose. Good explanations compress too. The difference is what they preserve. A good explanation removes noise. A bad explanation removes friction. Noise is detail that does not change the conclusion. Friction is detail that might. So how do you test a story without demanding a doctoral thesis from every sandwich? Ask 3 small questions. First, what did this story remove? Not every missing detail matters, but if every missing detail points in the same convenient direction, look again. Second, what would change the storyteller's mind? If the answer is nothing, you are not holding an explanation, you are holding a shield. Third, does the story explain the problem, or does it only assign a villain? A villain may be responsible, but blame is not a mechanism. These questions do not kill simple stories. They give the useful ones breaks. Back in the town, the buses are still late, the rent is still up, and the hospital has somehow printed another form. The person on the box still offers one villain, one cause, and one enormous button. The crowd does not need to reject every simple answer. It only needs to notice the red knot behind it. Pick one thread, follow where it actually goes, then pick another. The truth may never fit on a flag, but it can still be made clear. A good explanation makes the mess easier to see. A bad one makes the mess disappear.